Now, in the course of our research, as we were studying organizations, studying leadership, studying teams, my children were getting older. We have a small organization called the Grenny family. We have 6 children, 3 control, 3 experimental. It's good research base. My wife and I believe that sample size is the key to good research. So, as our children were getting older, various of them had science fair projects they had to do. I tried to interest the older ones into doing social science type projects, and they weren't really interested in that. Finally, along comes Samuel. And Samuel one day has a science fair project due. I said, "What are you thinking of doing?" He says, "I want to put little kids in some uncomfortable circumstance and then see how they behave." And at first I was a little discouraging of it. I said, I don't know if any of you have seen the old show, Kids Say the Darndest Things, right? But I said, kids don't have the same kind of social constraints that adults do. He goes, no, I know what I want to do. He says, just help me with the experiment. So I want to play for you the experiment, and then we'll talk about its implications.
We all know adults stink at talking about tough things, but how about little kids? Here's my experiment. Feed kids wretched brownies, then see if they'll tell you the truth, especially when they think it might hurt your feelings. First, I made the brownies. Lots of chocolate, eggs and flour, but instead of sugar, I put in salt. Lots of salt. There's no way they could like these better. Now I recruit kids of various ages for a taste test. I tell them I want to compare ordinary brownies to my special brownies. My dear grandmother's special recipe. My dear dead grandmother's special recipe. Then I give them $1 for being such a big help. My parents always taught me that if you want someone to like you, give them money. Okay, here goes. First, they ate the yummy sugar brownies. Next, they eat the salt bricks. Watch this girl. She can hardly keep from gagging. And now for the crucial moment. Will they tell me the truth and possibly offend me? I asked them to point to the brownies they like best. No surprise that some tried to spare my feelings. But watch, even the one who gagged? And how about really little kids? But do you want to know what they really thought? Here, guys, I have leftovers. Does anybody want seconds? Isn't
that amazing? I was stunned. I was absolutely stunned. Now, different than you, when my wife and I watched this, it's a different experience because the subjects are neighbor kids, right? That little girl whose face was all retching up, she lives right next door to us. Her name is Hannah. She's the most blunt, outspoken girl in the world. And she's lying about the brownies. Now, here's the question. How many of us have been to that meeting? Have you been in that meeting before? How many of us been in a meeting where everybody knows that the brownies suck? But nobody's saying it. And if they do say it, where do they say it? Where do they say it? It's in the hallway after the meeting. That's where it comes out. Here's the point. Watching this experiment, I realized at what a remarkably young age you and I draw a horrific conclusion. At about 3 or 4 years old, you and I start to believe a myth that causes mischief for the rest of our lives. It undermines our organizations, it undermines our families and all of our relationships. That myth is this, that you often have to choose between telling the truth and keeping a friend. It's the belief that you have to choose between the two. Truth-telling means losing friends, right? Keeping friends means compromising truth. It's the belief that you have to trade the two off against each other that causes mischief in all our relationships. You can measure the health of a relationship, a team, or an organization by measuring the number of undiscussables, the number of things that you and I believe you just can't talk about. Progress in organizations begins the moment we as leaders start to help people unwind that myth. So here's what I advocate. Around principle number one, big idea number one, the principle of crucial conversations. Your job as a leader is to model, teach, coach, and measure a small number of the crucial conversations that most profoundly affect the mission you're trying to accomplish. Here's the principle. What we know is that crucial conversations are either a pit or a path. They're one or the other. They're either a pit that keeps us stuck and mired down and inhibits our capacity to achieve our growth and our mission, or they become a path upward. Here's the magic of it. What we know is that crucial conversations can become an acceleration of intimacy. And you know that. Crucial conversations held well. When we don't work around the truth, we work through it. When we find a way to absolutely respectfully and absolutely candidly discuss our concerns, it actually becomes a trust-building accelerant and builds intimacy of an unparalleled nature in organizations, in teams, and in families. What I want you to understand is that this principle doesn't just define something around the margins. It is the core of a healthy culture in a family, a team, or an organization. Your job as a leader is to identify the 2 or 3 crucial conversations that most affect achievement of your mission. And then model, teach, coach, and measure how well you're doing as an organization. My promise to you, based on our research, is that improvement in that one area, just those crucial conversations, will affect every other dimension that you care about rapidly, dramatically. So, our challenge is to learn to focus on those. Not have them become the pit, but have them become the path. What we're trying to accomplish is using those as elevating experiences. So this is about us elevating the entire organization, not just achievement of our mission. Our research spans many, many different dimensions. We found that your individual influence is fundamentally a function of your ability to hold crucial conversations with your customers, with your board, with your colleagues. The quality and strength of a team, productivity,